Imagine running a marathon at a pace most people can't even sprint for 10 seconds. Now imagine doing it for over 2 hours straight, pushing the absolute limits of human endurance. Eliud Kipchoge doesn't just run marathons, he dominates them in ways that seem almost superhuman. While the rest of the world struggles to break records, he shatters them with a smile on his face. What if I told you that his secret isn't just about physical strength or endless training hours? What if the real answer lies in something so precise, so calculated, that most runners never even consider it? The last revelation is going to completely change how you think about running forever. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will blow your mind. Welcome to a journey into the mind and body of the greatest marathoner who ever lived. Today, we're going to uncover the hidden techniques and strategies that make Eliud Kipchoge unstoppable. We're diving deep into the science, the discipline, and the almost mysterious methods that separate him from every other runner on the planet. Prepare to discover secrets that took decades to perfect, strategies that defy conventional wisdom, and a mindset so powerful it transforms impossible into inevitable. This isn't just about running faster, it's about understanding what makes a champion truly exceptional. Let's begin. The first thing you need to understand about Kipchoge is that his technique is nothing short of poetry in motion. Watch any footage of him running and you'll notice something immediately different from other marathoners. His stride is incredibly efficient, almost floating above the ground. While most runners waste energy with excessive vertical movement, bouncing up and down with each step, Kipchoge maintains an almost perfectly horizontal trajectory. His foot strikes the ground with surgical precision, landing directly under his center of mass, not ahead of it like many recreational runners do. This seemingly small detail is absolutely massive, because every time your foot lands ahead of your body, you're essentially braking with each step, throwing away precious energy. Kipchoge's cadence, the number of steps he takes per minute, hovers around 180, which research shows is optimal for minimizing ground contact time while maximizing forward propulsion. His arm swing is compact and relaxed, never crossing the center line of his body, which prevents unnecessary rotational forces that would slow him down. But here's where it gets really interesting. His posture is slightly forward-leaning from the ankles, not the waist, which allows gravity to assist his forward momentum rather than fight against it. Every single element of his running form has been refined over years of meticulous practice to eliminate wasted motion and channel every ounce of energy into pure forward speed. Now think for a moment about your own running form. Are you bouncing too much? Is your stride too long? These small inefficiencies add up over miles. But technique alone doesn't explain Kipchoge's dominance. The second secret lies in his extraordinary mental discipline and training philosophy. Kipchoge follows a principle he calls thinking is believing, and he practices it with almost religious devotion. Unlike many elite athletes who train in luxurious facilities with cutting-edge technology, Kipchoge lives in a simple training camp in Kaptagat, Kenya, at 7,400 feet elevation. He shares a small room, follows a strict routine, and lives without the distractions that most of us consider normal life. His training weeks often exceed 140 miles, but it's not just about volume. Kipchoge incorporates intense track sessions where he practices running at speeds that would leave most marathoners gasping after a single lap. He does long runs at altitude that builds his aerobic capacity to superhuman levels. But perhaps most importantly, he practices something called negative splitting, which means running the second half of a race faster than the first half, requiring incredible pacing discipline and mental toughness. His ability to maintain perfect pace control, never going too fast early and burning out, is legendary. During his famous sub-2-hour marathon attempt in Vienna, his pacing was so precise that his kilometer splits varied by only seconds across the entire distance. This level of control requires not just physical conditioning, but an almost meditative mental state where pain is acknowledged but not allowed to dictate decisions. Comment now. Have you ever tried to maintain perfect pace during a long run? How did it go? Write in the comments below. The third and perhaps most fascinating secret is Kipchoge's approach to nutrition and recovery, which borders on scientific obsession. Unlike the carb-loading stereotypes you might imagine, Kipchoge's diet is surprisingly simple but incredibly strategic. His daily intake consists primarily of ugali, a cornmeal-based staple that provides slow-releasing carbohydrates, along with vegetables, rice, and some protein from eggs and occasional meat. But timing is everything. He front-loads his carbohydrate intake in the morning and after training sessions when his body is most receptive to glycogen replenishment. During long runs and races, he practices with specific nutrition strategies, training his gut to absorb carbohydrates efficiently without causing digestive distress, something many marathoners struggle with catastrophically during races. His hydration strategy is equally precise, calculated based on sweat rate, weather conditions, and effort level. But here's what most people miss. Kipchoge prioritizes recovery with the same intensity as his hardest workouts. He sleeps between 9 and 10 hours every night, understanding that adaptation happens during rest, not during the run itself. He incorporates regular massage and physiotherapy to address muscle imbalances. Before they become injuries, he practices deliberate rest days, not as laziness, but as strategic recovery periods where his body rebuilds stronger. Even his mental recovery is structured, with meditation and time spent away from the pressures of performance. This holistic approach to training, nutrition, and recovery creates a sustainable system that allows him to perform at the highest level year after year without breaking down like so many other elite athletes do. Now here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you treating recovery as seriously as your training? But there's one more layer to Kipchoge's success that transcends technique, training, and nutrition. It's his philosophy and mindset that truly sets him apart. Kipchoge famously says, "No human is limited," and he doesn't just say it, he lives it every single day. When he trains, when he races, when he faces setbacks, he operates from a place of possibility rather than limitation. After his first attempt to break 2 hours in the marathon fell short by 26 seconds, most athletes would have been devastated. Kipchoge simply smiled, thanked his team, and began planning the next attempt. 2 years later, in Vienna, he succeeded, crossing the line in 1 hour, 59 minutes, 40 seconds, becoming the first human in history to run a marathon in under 2 hours. His humility is legendary, often crediting his team, his pacers, and even his competitors rather than focusing on his own greatness. This mindset creates a positive feedback loop where pressure transforms into motivation rather than anxiety. He approaches each race not as a battle to be won, but as an opportunity to express his craft, to show the world what's possible when preparation meets opportunity. His pre-race rituals are simple but meaningful, connecting him to his purpose and keeping him grounded. This psychological approach eliminates the mental barriers that stop most athletes before they even step on the starting line. You've just discovered the 3 pillars that make Eliud Kipchoge the fastest marathoner in history. Biomechanical perfection in his running technique that eliminates wasted energy. A holistic training and recovery system that builds sustainable excellence. And a mindset that transforms limitations into possibilities. But here's the real lesson, the one that applies whether you're a runner or not. Excellence in any field comes from the same place: meticulous attention to fundamentals, disciplined consistency over time, and a belief system that refuses to accept artificial limits. Kipchoge shows us that greatness isn't about talent alone. It's about the daily decision to optimize every detail, to recover as hard as you train, and to approach challenges with humility and determination. What area of your life could transform if you applied these same principles? What would become possible if you eliminated inefficiencies, built sustainable systems, and believed in your potential? The way Kipchoge believes in his peak performance fascinated you. Click the video on your screen right now where we dive into the training secrets of other legendary athletes who've redefined what's humanly possible. Leave a comment telling me which aspect of Kipchoge's approach surprised you most. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button so we can continue exploring the science and stories behind extraordinary achievement. Remember, no human is limited. The question is, what are you going to do with that truth? O Cloud pode cometer erros. Confira sempre as respostas.